Hi, it's Heather Clifford with eXp Realty here in beautiful Campbell River and the Comox Valley area with your real estate market update for the very end of February 2024. And in today's presentation, I want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the news, of course, interest rates, and what are my buyers and sellers talking about at this very moment. So let's get started, and I'll share my screen with you right now. Okay, let's get started with our market update. I also want to do a little shout out to Yana. You are not alone at this year's February 23rd, 2024 fundraiser. They raised the most amount of money ever at $122,000. And we had a fabulous time. It's a wonderful, wonderful organization and such a great event. We felt honored to be able to get a table for our team. So let's talk about what the media release is from our new chair, Ian McKay. So he says it's a normal January, speaking of last month when he did this report. Optimistic outlook on the market right now. Active listings of single family homes were actually down, so still a short supply of homes coming on the market. However, condos and townhouses was up from last year. And realtors, he says, are reporting that there's plenty of listings are hitting the system and that they're very optimistic about the spring market. Well, generally, everyone is excited about a spring market. And everyone is excited about March the 6th when Tiff Macklem from the Governor Bank of Canada does his next announcement. And we are all sitting on the fence wondering if he's going to give us any indication of when those mortgage rates are going to start coming down. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in the following slides. So he goes on to say, however, interest rates and the mortgage stress tests continue to deter some buyers, as does the pervasive low inventory on the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. So listings are down, but I can tell you there are a number of properties coming on the market as I speak, and February has been a very robust month for properties coming on the market. I took a look around the province at where our prices were. I like to keep an eye on Greater Vancouver, of course, and my next eye is always over to Victoria and then the rest of Vancouver Island. Those are the main areas that I focus on because the Vancouver market usually speaks to how our market is going to be. So if Victoria sneezes, the Comox Valley, Campbell River, we catch a cold. So we know that their markets are robust right now, and that means that our market is right around the corner from getting a little bit busier than we already are. And I'll tell you, there is a pent-up demand of buyers throughout British Columbia, but in particular here on Vancouver Island. So what's going on in the news? Well, for me, I read all the headlines, but I also read what the story is that is being written about. And sometimes the headlines are more shocking than the actual story that they're telling you. There's two people that I watch when it comes to real estate and where we're going, because the number one indicator of how our market is going to be is where are the interest rates at. So it starts with Jerome Powell down in the US at the Fed. He is the one that I watch, and then we listen to the Bank of Canada next. Each time they do an announcement, it gives us a clearer picture of where our real estate market is going to be. So you can see that Realtor.com said, get ready for some big changes in the market when the mortgage rates drop. As the mortgage rates drop, our buyers can afford to buy a more expensive home. So right now in our market, anywhere between 600 and 750 is on fire. So 600 to 750 in the Comox Valley. We wrote an offer on Sunday. It was 649 was the asking price. There were 10 offers on the property. My buyers wrote 50,000 plus over asking, and we did not win the bid. We did not get that property. So really what I said to my buyers is that tells me that there's 9 or 8, not including us, other buyers looking for exactly what we are looking for. It's a fast market in that price range. Then, which doesn't really make much sense to me when we're talking real estate, I look at some of the properties that I have showed or that are myself listings, and I say for $850,000, you don't have to do that massive amount of renovations. You've got a brand new septic, let's say, or you've got city water, and the difference for what needs to be done on a lot of properties, bumping up your purchase by $150,000 makes a big difference on what you can buy. But that's how tied the buyer's hands are right now. They have to buy for what's available for the mortgage they can afford. Going on, Post Haste has said Canadians jump into variable mortgages because they're betting on the short term that eventually in the next year, year and a half, those interest rates will come down. They have a variable mortgage and they can jump into a 5-year term, let's say, at a much lower rate. So there's a lot of speculation on mortgages in that respect. The Global News says some home buyers sensing the market has hit the bottom. I think so too. When I run the numbers next week and I do another market update, after the Bank of Canada does their announcement on March the 6th, I will see where our numbers are for February. And then we will see if the market has actually hit the bottom. Because remember, month over month, we have been going down. CBC, January home sales jumped by 22% from last year's start. CREA says home sales in January are up 3.7% from the previous month. And then, of course, we have the Bank of Canada is expecting the housing market will rebound this year amid expectations for interest rate cuts coming sometime in 2024. So the head of the central bank warned, however, that the outlook for home prices in the recovery comes with considerable uncertainty. So basically what Tiff is saying is he's not saying home prices are going to fly up and go off the shelf like they have in previous years. Everything will wait and we will see when interest rates start going down, what happens to our market. So the world's central banks have unleashed the steepest series of interest rate increases in decades during their 2-year drive to tame our inflation, and they may not be done yet. Policymakers have raised rates by about 400 basis points on average in advanced economies since late 2021, and around 650 basis points in emerging market economies. So the next mortgage update is in Canada here on March the 6th. You know that this is what has happened to our real estate market with interest rates going up 10 times in the last 2 years. It has certainly been what has caused our market to stall a little bit. And by no means is our market dead. I decided to keep this slide in here because a number of you have reached out and said, thank you. Thank you for telling us about the mortgage calculator on realtor.ca, because this is a really good place to start when you're looking at making a purchase in real estate. However, having said that, in this type of market, you need to be pre-approved. You need to get yourself into the bank and speak to a mortgage broker. Or you need to get an independent mortgage broker to call you and get yourself pre-approved, because personally, I do not want to work with any buyers that do not know without a shadow of a doubt they can be purchasing the property that we're looking at. And having said that, I don't want anyone coming through the homes that I have for sale, my sellers' homes. If you cannot afford to even be purchasing that home, I'm disrupting my clients. And so it is so important for your own strength going into the real estate market that you know what you're capable of buying as far as a home goes. So is this government interference? Well, the first one, the mortgage stress test that came out in 2018 and then was increased in 2021. No, I think this is very important, and especially because what we saw happen to the interest rates over the last couple of years. So I think this was a good one for buyers to have to approve out that 2% higher back when the rates were 3% or 4%, or as it says here, either a rate of 5.25% or your actual rate plus 2%. However, having said that, the rates are up quite a bit more than posted here. Then on August in 2016, the BC government officially imposed the 15% foreign buyers tax, and then they raised it to 20% in 2018. That, I think, is probably not a good thing in our economy as far as the foreign buyers and how they were pinched on this one. The BC government first introduced the tax in 2018, and it was initially expanded to 6 more communities, including mine here on the island, for 2023 tax year. Then in late November, we heard about the new short-term rental rules that are coming into effect by May of 2024. I don't think this was good for our market. Here's the thing that I believe. The federal government is the one that is bringing in all this immigration and not making sure that people have homes. So they've brought in more people than they ever have before, and it is really putting a lot of pressure on rentals in all communities, and we're seeing more and more people on the street. So legislation has been enacted to give local governments stronger enforcement tools for their short-term rental bylaws. Not only is this a bad thing for people that own property and purchased it with the understanding at the time they bought that they could do this with their properties, but how is this going to affect our tourism? And I love using the short-term Airbnbs and VRBOs and things of that nature as well, because it's so popular. Thousands of people do. Where are those people going to stay? It is going to fill our hotels that we don't have enough of here on the island, and the hotel rates will just go through the roof. So I don't see how this is going to benefit our tourism at all. And then we have the municipal zoning changes that are coming, and within our cities, in all communities in British Columbia, and the councils in our cities have to have their disclosure out to their citizens by June of 2024, and they are pushed to the max on trying to get these things done, and everyone is sitting and waiting and wondering how this is going to affect their neighborhoods or their real estate. So many changes so fast has just been ridiculous. And is the short-term rental going to fix our rental problem? Is the BC flipping tax that they have just introduced going to fix our rental problems? No, it is not. Building more affordable houses is the only thing that our governments can do. And that's about all I'm going to say in regards to all this government interference, because boy, it's good coffee talk. It's the talk of dinner tables, and my clients are just sitting back waiting to see what happens with all of these new rules and regulations. So here we go. We go November, December, January, month over month. You can see the drop that has happened across the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. And this is for detached housing. This is the one that I am putting on. And you can look at active listings. We've talked about that being a little more listings coming on the market in the month of February. Not so much in January. We look at communities within our areas, the biggest drop was the Cowichan Valley over last month, and they came down almost $800,000. And of course, the North Island always gets hit very hard when there's a change in the real estate market, and their prices month over month have dropped by 23,000. And most of our other areas, we've seen a slight adjustment in the pricing by about $3,000 down. So we'll see when the numbers come out for February where we are now sitting. Our single family, I kind of made a whole bunch of little cool notes on the side, and I realized that they can be a little bit hard to understand. But if you look at where Campbell River is in January at 650,500, we look at a month prior to that, there's that $3,000 I was talking about, and 5,000 3 months ago. But if you go back a whole year, we were at 606,200. So we've actually gone up $44,300 over this time last year. That was a really good stat that I like to keep track of. We look at the Comox Valley area. We in January are 816,000 as a benchmark price. And that, of course, is down about $3,000 over last month. And it is down, it's quite a bit more down 3 months ago. But if you go back a whole year and you look at this time last year, our market was at 762,200. That is $54,000 we have gone up over the year. So if our market picks up this spring, I believe we will have the same type of stats to look at this time next year. And of course, we will, and then we'll find out if we're right or wrong. I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you, I'm really involved with what's going on with real estate in our communities. The condo market, we're now at, in Campbell River, 319,000, and it is down over 322 from the month prior, and it is down from 338 3 months ago. If we go back an entire year, we're sitting exactly the same. So nothing has really changed over the last year. And in the Comox Valley, 350,500 in January, down a couple of $1,000s from last month, and it was 367,000 3 months ago. So that's a good $17,000 drop. That's considerable. If you go back a year in the Comox Valley benchmark pricing for condos, we were at 354,000. So we actually have gone down about $4,000 over last year. Here's our townhouse market. And the townhouse market is interesting because when we look at Campbell River and the Comox Valley, we are building a lot more townhouses. So these numbers can definitely get skewed with older townhouses that are on the market. So I think it's really important when you own a detached house, a condo, or a townhouse that you speak directly about what your product is, about the age of it, the condition of it, the size, the bedrooms, bathrooms, so on and so forth, because this is just a blanket statement when we look at these numbers. And the other thing is every single real estate agent is going to have a different point of view because we work with different types of products, different types of buyers, but generally we can use these numbers month over month. So Campbell River, we're at 518,000. That is down a whopping 10,000 from the previous month in the townhouse market and quite considerably in the 3-month market. If you go back 1 year, we were sitting at 511,000. So actually we're up $7,000 over last year. And in the Comox Valley, we're at 546,700 as a benchmark price, which is down about $9,000 over last month and quite a bit more over 3 months ago. If we pop back a year ago, looking at the townhouse market in the Comox Valley, we were at $541,000. So we, again, are up about $5,000 over this time last year. Who are our buyers and who is selling? Well, I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, there are a ton of estate sales. I myself have done 3 market evaluations on estate sales. So that is where a lot of our product is coming from. And a lot of these estate sales are in very rough condition. They're people that have stayed in their home right to the sweet end, as most people want to do. And so I see a lot of estate sales right now, and I see a lot of people moving down the socio ladder, leaving the great big house and looking for something easier to take care of and smaller. As far as buyers go, I can show my board over here, and I can tell you I've probably got 24 buyers on that board. And most of them are people that are coming from the mainland, a couple from Ontario, and then I have just a few people within the community that are moving up and down that socio ladder. So we have a huge demand here on Vancouver Island, and that has not changed year over year. Here is my quick little snapshot of how our multiple listing system looks for the week. You can see much more new listings in February over the January time, more pending sales, so more deals are being written, and then the solds are relatively the same, a little bit less for February. But in March, those numbers are going to change drastically because those pendings are going to become the solds that we look at. I want to end off by doing a few shout outs for some of my listings. I have the most wonderful couple that is downsizing their home. They've been in 46 years on Catherwood Road, and they have probably spent about $120,000 on improvements over the last few years, including a roof, built in their RV pad into a nice little studio. They put solar panels on their home. They've done electrical upgrades. They've got new power cables. They've got an EV charger, new retrofit windows, new septic field, heat pump. Hot water tank is new, refinished their solid oak cabinets. So you can see the money that these people have put into their home to keep it up, and it's just shy of 1 acre, and the asking price, this is great value, $878,800 for this home here in Black Creek. Call me, let me know if you want to look at it. I know it's going to sell, and whoever buys it is getting a great deal. This house also has beautiful gardens for vegetables. It has fruit trees on the property, and you can still build another home on it because of its zoning. I just listed in this beautiful England Oaks development, another townhome. The one that I had in December sold immediately. I've listed it for the same price. This one has 2 master bedrooms. So both bedrooms upstairs have their own ensuite. There's also a nice garden patio that you can walk straight out to from the kitchen, which is very unique for these ones along the front row. It's a gorgeous, huge, over 2,000 square foot townhome, 2 bedrooms. It does have a big rec room downstairs, which could be used for an office area, etc. It has a garage, and it has lots of parking opportunities and great walking because it is located just behind the Thrifties off of 17th Street on 14th Street. My listing on Coleman Road. Now, this will be a great opportunity for someone that's thinking of building a home. It has wonderful zoning. It's very close to Bates Beach. I looked at a lot of patio homes or exploring prefabricated homes to bring onto the property. It is on the corner of Loxley and Coleman Road. The asking price is $410,000, and you are welcome to build your driveway off of Loxley, which is the quieter road than Coleman. So that is a good building lot opportunity and at a great price. If you're looking at lots, you'll see that this is a well-priced piece of property. I also have this beautiful patio home in Campbell River on McFedrin Road South. It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 955 square feet with many, many upgrades over the last few years. Most recently, the fireplace. It has a lovely little garden area, south facing for lots of sunshine. And we have a new price on it at $445,000. So if you would like to view this property, absolutely have your realtor call me or give me a call yourself. So the last thing I want to do is I want to give a great big shout out of congratulations to the council at the city of Campbell River, because they joined in with the Fort St. John Mayor, Lila Hanson, and in her letter, and if you haven't read it, Google this. You can come back, you can stop the video and Google this legislation that she is asking the minister for. So thank you to the council at the city of Campbell River. And it's a letter calling on the province to protect the rights of citizens in the face of all the criminal activity and social disorder in our city streets in British Columbia. And they want to enact a Community Safety Act fund. Sympathetic ears in Campbell River Council chambers are standing behind this letter. So thank you very much on my behalf, because I really think it's important. We have to do something today to take our cities back so everyone feels safe going downtown and shopping and helping to support our businesses in the downtown sector. So my name is Heather, and I sell real estate in the Comox Valley and Campbell River areas. I live out at beautiful Saratoga Beach. I feel very fortunate. If you would like to talk about your home, your property, or your buying needs, I'm here with 2 ears to listen to what you're up to. Until we speak next time, which will be in the month of March, take care, everyone.